afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Detroit Table Talk. What up, though, Detroit? Listen, today is a beautiful day out. Tomorrow is Easter. You got all the parents out getting their children ready for Easter Sunday service. The little girls right now are sitting in the kitchen getting their hair washed and blow dried and pressed out so they can be a part of the Easter program. You got last minute parents still at the mall trying to figure out what shoes little Jimmy gonna wear. But we right here holding it down at Detroit Table Talk. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Carmen, and we have Dro with us.
Yeah.
Listen.
Glad to be here.
Dro, how was your week?
It was great. I can't complain. I really didn't do anything.
Nothing exciting?
Nothing but podcasting shows here up at Podcasting. That's it. That's about it. That's about it.
I said that like I did something interesting.
What'd you do?
Other than work and, just talk with the grandsons, and that's about it.
Shouts out to the grandkids.
Especially my little one that came to Detroit Table Talk last week and, graced us with his presence. He got a lot of energy and a lot of personality.
Oh, yeah, he do. And he got flow. And he got the bars.
And he got some bars. I don't know what he was saying, but he had it down pat.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, this week I was looking at the news and I was, watching, some articles, that came across my phone. And I must say, we out here wilding out. We just doing some crazy stuff.
I agree.
Some of this stuff I just don't understand.
Not we, them.
Well, yeah, them. It's sure not us. But listen, we had a young lady. This story is really interesting. We had a young lady who traveled all the way from San Francisco to meet a young man. I think the little boy was like 14 years old in Novi.
I did hear about that.
She rented a Airbnb for a month.
And sent Ubers.
And so I'm so glad at the last minute the young man decided, let me tell my parents, this don't seem right.
Yeah, it could have been something real drastic. It could have been some way deeper than just, it could have been some other people involved. Could have been some sex trafficking. Anything. That's why it's so important that we talk to our young people and we tell them it's just not a good idea to meet people online like that. Especially our young girls. It's just, I'm not saying it's okay for the young men, but you shouldn't be meeting anyone online because you never know if it's the person that they say they are. And now they're getting so brazen that they telling these young people their age. Really?
Yeah, she told him that she was 32 years old.
Wow.
What a 32-year-old gonna do with a 15-year-old in an Airbnb for a month?
Wow. She got issues.
Big issues.
Serious issues.
So I'm glad that the parents got involved, called the authorities, and they came and arrested her butt.
I'm glad as well.
Because it was too much.
Yeah, entirely too much.
Too much. Listen, what you think? I'm kind of conflicted when we talk about this story here because being on the side of law enforcement at one point in time in my life, some of these stories are conflicting to me. So when we talk about this story here, I'm a little conflicted because of what was going on. So let's have a discussion on Patrick Lilola, I think that's his name. The young man that was pulled over for what a lot of people want to say is a traditional traffic stop. Now, anyone in law enforcement knows, and it's explained to us constantly, no traffic stop is the same. You never know what you're going to get when you pull a vehicle over. You never know what they have inside. You never know how that incident will work itself out. You pray for, that you're meeting a citizen that is level-minded. You're meeting a citizen that, that have some kind of common sense, I guess I would say. But you never know, because it can go left in seconds. That's why police officers always have to be on their P's and Q's. Now, I'm not discounting that police, some police officers are rogue police officers. They just want to do what they want to do, no matter the rules, no matter the regulations that they have to follow. They just want to do what they want to do. But with this traffic stop, it wasn't no ordinary traffic stop, because Patrick, the young man that is no longer with us, was pulled over because his license plates didn't match the vehicle. The police officer, from what we're being told, asked him to stay in his car, that he'll be right back. Well, Patrick decided, and we don't know the reasoning that he decided he was going to get out his vehicle and start approaching the police vehicle or the police officer. And as the police officer is telling him, stay in your car, I don't know if it's because of a language barrier. I'm not sure if it's because he's from African descent, that he really didn't understand, how it works here. I'm not sure what it was.
How long had he been living here?
I don't really know how long he's been in the States. I'm not sure. But the family don't talk English.
Oh, okay.
So they had to have an interpreter.
Right.
So I'm not sure even if he spoke English. But the situation went left real quick.
Okay.
The officer, the young man took off running.
Right, I seen that.
And the officer took off running behind him. And maybe the officer wasn't as in perfect shape that he can keep up with the young man, and he got tired. Now listen, officers get tired too. I used to say all the time, and I had a couple of partners that used to say the same thing. Don't let us chase you. It won't work out well for you. So I'm not sure if the officer had in mind that, here we go, now I got to chase him down, and try to get him under control. But that situation didn't go well.
Not at all.
He ended up having to pull his taser. And the young man decided to grab the taser.
Wow.
To try to wrestle it from him. And the officer, I don't know if it's because he was exhausted from running and chasing him and then having to have a scuffle on the ground with him.
Right.
He reached back, and when I was watching the video, I assumed that he was reaching back to grab his handcuffs. But he reached back and grabbed his firearm and executed this young man. He literally shot him in the back of his head. I just have so many conflicting views on this situation.
Me as well.
I hate that the young man didn't stay in his vehicle.
Right.
But I also hate that he lost his life.
Absolutely.
Because of wrong plate, which was a mere misdemeanor.
Right.
You can go to court, you can pay the fee, and you will still be here.
Right.
And let's just talk about it. Our African American men and women are traumatized by the police.
Absolutely.
That's just something that we can't avoid. A lot of us have PTSD. When you see them come up behind you, whether your tags is good, your license is good, you have insurance, it's a patter that goes on in your heart, like, you hold your breath. Mm-hmm. I know I do.
Now, I don't really do it no more, but I used to back in my younger days. I did used to get nervous, but now, I make sure my shit together, and
Yeah, but even if your stuff is
then,
together.
Even with my things together, I do that natural first that natural first instinct is automatic nervousness. But then once that second thought kick in, like, you got your shit together.
We should never have to feel that way.
We shouldn't. I actually got hands put on me by the police.
Oh, wow.
It was a messed up situation. I was actually a victim. I got shot, and I guess because I was enraged because I was, I got shot, and y'all just let the people go, and I'm like, yo, they, and they just handcuffed me, threw me on the ground, choked me, whatever.
They handcuffed you.
Handcuffed me.
You were bleeding.
2 bullet wound, 2 shot
You
in my
the
leg.
victim.
Yeah.
And you got handcuffs put on you.
Handcuffs, choked up, everything. Yeah. And took to jail that night. So, yeah, So after that happened to me, I was very, very, very angry with the police. I was very pissed.
As you should have been.
I was pissed. I went to Internal Affairs, tried to get a lawsuit against them because, I did nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. But at that particular time, the city was going through bankruptcy, so they got out of that. So
okay,
so,
okay. Man, I feel bad for his parents, his family, his friends, and even after we talked to our young men, I have 2 young sons, 30 and 28. It's very difficult for me. I think my PTSD has heightened. It's gone to another level. My oldest son, he doesn't live with me. My youngest son doesn't really live with me. Mm-hmm. Well, he lives with me, but he's not home.
I understand.
And when they leave home, or even with my older son, I'm constantly calling him all day. How you doing? You okay? I'm just so terrified that, they could have an encounter, with the police.
Right.
And the unfortunate part about that is, even though we teach our young men and our young ladies what to do when they're stopped by the police, is it the 12 and 3 hands on the wheel? Don't move at all until the police officer approaches the driver's side window.
Right.
Ask if you can go into your purse or the glove compartment to get your registration and insurance. Ask, can you go into your purse and your wallet to see if you can get your driver's license? But we have seen countless individuals who have followed the rules and still lost their life.
Yep.
So when we talk about Patrick, although there are some things that he could have done differently, and possibly it could have been a different outcome, we don't know if this young man suffered PTSD from the police and just got scared and ran. Right. Because he didn't want to lose his life.
Exactly. From
a traffic stop, and end up losing his life.
Right.
We have to do something. We have to get something. What I've always said is, you attack their money, you sometimes have a different outcome.
Exactly.
When you start talking about pensions and you start talking about a fund that, or putting a pension, part of, if as a police officer you commit a crime, if we have to pay out the lawsuit, it comes out of that retirement stash.
Yep. Exactly.
You know how many police officers reconsider doing some of the stuff they do? And sometimes it's just, having a relationship with the community that you police in.
Yep, that's true. I remember being young, and I remember seeing police officers walking through the neighborhood.
Walking the beat.
You don't see that anymore.
Nope. Or you used to see them riding the bikes.
Yep, riding the bikes.
You don't see that any longer.
At all.
When they took out the residency part of the police officers having to live where they police,
yep.
I think that's what kind of made this whole community policing thing it kind of crumbled.
It became just a job.
It was just a job. You don't have to live in the area that you police, so
why
you going
would you
in
care
and
about it?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So it's you have to actually care about the neighborhood in order to make a difference and in order to make a change. And it can't just start with one. It needs to be. I really don't think that. I think the police need to be policed. Some of them.
I think that not only do they need to be policed by their agency that they police, they need to be policed by their partners.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And we all know about, police officers don't tell on each other or anything like that. However, we got to get to the place where we hold our partners to a higher level.
Yep.
We see them out there doing something, we got to say, hey, you got to step up and say something.
Yeah. But at the same time,
But a lot of them think they're going to be ostracized.
I can definitely.
And that's a dangerous place to be in when you're in law enforcement, because God forbid you get into a situation and you need your coworkers to come to your aid.
Yep.
And they have to come if they're dispatched. However, when their record time of getting there,
it'll take all day.
They'll take forever.
Yep. I think with situations like that, I always think of. Have you seen American Gangster?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, in that movie, whatever the cop was that brought down Frank Lucas.
Okay.
His partner, they end up finding, I think, almost $1 million, and he turned it in. His partner didn't want to turn it in, so the cop that arrested Frank Lucas, he needed help.
Mm-hmm.
And his partner needed help, and they did not send backup to them guys at all because he turned in that money, and he felt like if you go turn in that money, you go turn in one of us. You're a rat, and that's how they felt.
Think. That's exactly how they think. But with the way that society is going now, if you have a partner, he's not right. Now they're charging you as well.
Oh, really?
You seen with the George Floyd and the officers that was standing around.
Yeah.
Now they're being required to, answer questions and answer why they didn't respond in the way that they should have.
That's a horrible
So
situation.
now you have to take in consideration your livelihood, your tendency that you've been on the force, your rank. All that stuff come in question now.
Right.
So if you don't say anything, you can be held just as accountable as the person who's committing the crime. So at some point you have to make a decision.
Right.
Did I get into policing to, protect and serve the community, or did I get into policing to become corrupt or get frustrated? When you start getting frustrated with the field that you're in, it's probably a good time to start looking at other places.
Right.
And I know for me, when I had became a PA 330 officer, some of the same stuff was going on. And unfortunately, you can be in a bad predicament because of the choices that your partner, choose.
Right.
And it's not a good thing to need your partners and they don't show. But it's also not a good thing for your partner to put you in that predicament to have to write a statement, at any given time concerning the person that spend 8 to 10 hours, with them a day in a car.
I agree.
So you're with this person more than you're with your family. So at some point, I just pray that we do better by our citizens. And we do better by the badge that we wear, that we represent.
I agree. But, as well, us as citizens, we got to do better as well.
Yeah, we do. We do. All this no snitching.
We can't complain. Here's the thing. Let me tell you something about that no snitching stuff.
It's crazy.
Listen, when it comes to certain things, such as, when it comes to dealing with women and children,
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's certain things that you don't just let fly. If I had a homeboy who did something to an elderly woman or elderly person or a child, you wouldn't be my homeboy no more.
You can't, because that says something about you as a person.
It's dishonorable. We're not doing dishonorable things over here. Not at all. We're not.
And then the no snitching stuff didn't even represent what we're holding it to today.
Right.
When you talk about no snitching, you say no snitching when it's something across the street from you or down the street and you know what's going on, but then you want everybody to step up to the plate and talk when it's one of your families or one of your friends.
Right.
And I understand about the street justice. I'm not down for it. I feel like give the criminal justice the opportunity to do the right thing by, the community and by that family.
That's true.
But at some point we have to take our neighborhoods and our communities back.
Yep.
Absolutely. If Pookie and Ray Ray and them across the street reaping havoc on, the block, it's your responsibility to say something. They selling drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you look around, somebody in and out the back door, a different car's pulling up. You can't even enjoy sitting on your porch because that's an eyesore across the street.
Exactly.
There is no way whatsoever. There's no way. So while we're talking about the community, today our topic is we're talking about blight in the city of Detroit. And that's an interesting topic on its own. We talk about Pookie. What do they call them? Pookie and Ray Ray and them? And the blight, that's part of the blight. These houses that look like trap houses. Most of them you do. There are a few in between houses that is taken care of. The grass is cut, but not necessarily. We get angry. I know I do. I get angry riding up and down the streets of Detroit, and it just looked like a big old dumpster. You got tires on this corner. You got garbage on this corner. It's nasty. It's ridiculous. And first we have to hold ourselves and our blessed children, accountable. If you got a child in the house that's reaping havoc on the block, they walking down the street drinking pop, chips, or whatever, and they throw that trash on the on the neighbor's lawn.
You see it.
And you
need
see
to
it?
say something.
Make them pick that junk up.
See, the neighborhood's done changed drastically. My grandmother, she stays over there in Pinko and Livernois area, and she stayed over there. She stayed over there for at least over 40 years.
Wow.
And I've seen that whole neighborhood just go down.
It used to be a good neighborhood when my family lived over there off of Sorrento.
Right. My uncle stayed on that street.
It was a really nice, block. It was a nice area. You used to be able to come out, sit on the porch, chill, walk across the street, talk to your neighbors. Now, not so much. If you go down, I want to say it's Linden, go down that back road off of Livernois, all you see is trash and tires and debris. And, I was driving some months ago, and I came across this Family Dollar over there off of 6 Mile, right next to Mary Grove College. And I instantly got angry. I don't think it was because the window was busted. I think it was because it had a front door on the door.
I know exactly what you're
And
saying.
I'm like, who in their right mind?
Now that is just ridiculous.
It's, when I say it's sad,
Would you want to shop there?
I would not shop there.
I wouldn't want to go in there.
But that's the sad part, that the community is forced to walk into a place like this. I went back Wednesday. I went back just to see if they had taken care of the blight. And I pulled up, and it was still looking like that. I circled the parking lot, and it was a few older people, you know, pulling up, you know, trying to go into the Family Dollar. And a couple of the older people, I stopped. I said, how long have this been like this? They said, oh, baby, this been like this for a long time. They said, this is the second time. So I'm like, do you live in this community? And they said, yes. I said, do you feel safe going into this Family Dollar like this? Nah, baby, you know, but this is the closest store. We have to run in and hurry up and run out.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, you shouldn't have to live like this. I said, do you own, you know, property in this area? And one of the ladies said, I live right down here. She said, I paid my taxes. She'd been living over there, I think she said, for almost 50 years. And this is what she has to walk into in her neighborhood just to get a few things.
That's ridiculous.
I talked to another young man. He had to be like in his 60s.
Okay.
And I asked him, I said, sir, how long this been like this? He said, baby, I can't even tell you no longer. He said, this is just ridiculous. I said, this is sad. This is sad. So I went into, you know, went into the store. I didn't even shut the door because I wanted a way to get out if I had to, you know, make some. So I left the front door open. And I asked the workers that was working there. I said, y'all, how long this been like this? They just shook their head. I said, have you guys talked to anybody? She said, it's been reported to corporate so many times.
I can believe it.
She said, they refuse to do anything. I said, well, do you know how long it's going to be like this? She said, the last time we checked, they said that they'll get back to us around August.
Wow.
I said,
August.
you mean like a few months from now, August? And she said, yeah. I said, baby, what's the regional director's number? I said, because y'all shouldn't have to work like this.
That's dangerous.
And it kind of made me chuckle in a sense where I turned around, it was a young man coming in. And he shut the door. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him and we just we both bust out laughing. I said, man. He said, what I supposed to do? He said, you know, he just put his hands up and shook his head. I said, like we at home, huh? He said, man, this how they do us in the city of Detroit.
That's ridiculous.
And he said the same thing that I has been saying. I have a buddy, a friend that we go back and forth all the time about stuff like this. And we're on the same side, but I look at it a little bit different than he does. He feels like the community need to stop doing this to their own community. And I totally agree.
I agree.
But I also feel like we have leaders that we have elected in these districts that, what are they doing? This is the district, these are the people that that had faith in you when they elected you, and they didn't elect you just for you to have your name on a district.
Yep.
And this not Walmart, I keep wanting to say Walmart, that's my favorite store, guys, Walmart. I love it. But this Family Dollar is in District 2. Mm-hmm. And in District 2, I called and left a couple of messages for our city council person in District 2, which is Angela Whitfield Calloway. And to this day, I have yet to get a call back. Because if you're a city council person, if you a state rep for that district, why are you not out driving about your district? Why are you not meeting with the people in your district, you know, to find out what needs to be done, what needs to be taken care of? How can we serve you?
Right.
I mean, because you did get elected to be a servant, right?
Exactly.
To the community that put you in that seat.
And you're not doing what you're supposed to.
And you go hiding, you go running. That's not fair. That's not fair at all.
Not fair to the people who elected you.
A couple of months ago, I want to say Channel 4 WDIV did a story on blight in the city of Detroit. I want you guys to just watch this for a sec. Okay, well, we're gonna skip that. But last year, they had a millage. I want to say it was a millage on the ballot for proposal N for blight. It was a $250 million proposal of bonds to eliminate the blight throughout Detroit. 8,000 was supposed to be to tear down houses that couldn't be salvaged, and then it should have been 8,000 that was going to be allocated for to renovate houses that can be salvageable. I know yesterday or all week, the city council people have been in talks about the budget for the 22-23 fiscal year. And I think that they finally voted on, they finally voted yesterday for the budget. They okayed it. So right now, the city council voted for it. They agreed upon it. Now it goes to Mayor Mike Duggan for a $2.4 billion budget, and he has until Thursday to veto that budget. So we're gonna see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, we're gonna see, because I remember it maybe about 10 years ago. Well, I first heard about the blight program or project, whatever it is, and they messed up some money.
They messed up a whole lot of money.
People in Highland Park got indicted, and now they're giving away more money to a businessman that we elected in office, and we'll see what he's gonna do with it.
Hopefully he'll do what's right. We don't know, because when he had that same opportunity when he was at DMC, yeah, we know what happened with there.
Exactly.
So we hope
I don't think that money be getting put in the right hands.
it goes down the right way. See, there should be checks and balances across.
Exactly.
You know, I know we got a lot of elected officials that are in it for what they can get out of it. You know, but not all elected officials are like that. I really wanted to speak with one of our city council women, but because of the budget meeting all week, she was unable to attend at the last minute. But I really want to see how they feel about what's really going on.
We don't know.
You know, because
We only know what they show us and what they
and what they're showing us is not good.
at all.
You know, now I give it to Mike Duggan. You know, I don't even know if I want to say I give it to the city council people, because downtown is looking really nice.
I can't name
But hell, we don't live downtown.
at all. It's not for us. It's not.
They
For
done made me cuss. I'm sorry.
It's not for us.
We don't live downtown.
And it's funny that you say that, Miss Carmen, because I was looking at the news. I watch the news every morning. Channel 2, I watch it. So I'm watching the morning grind or whatever. I mean, I'm not the morning grind, but I'm listening to the morning grind. But I'm watching Channel 2, and they showing something that was going on downtown. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't see none of us down there. None of us.
You think they're building downtown up for us?
Not at all.
They want our money. But they don't really want us down there.
They don't want us down there.
And unfortunately, I hate to say it, when Pookie and Ray Ray and them come down there, you know, they are they're going to spend their money.
They gonna mess up.
But some of them are a disturbance. You know, some of them be on some other stuff. You know, you got more police officers in Greektown than you do across the whole city of Detroit. And I just want people to know. And I don't know if people are familiar with how the different precincts work. When you ride past a precinct, you see about 40, 50 cars, correct, in a parking lot?
Yes.
Well, know that if you are in a district, you possibly only have 2 or 3 of those cars in that whole district.
And what
For the shift.
What's the rest of the cars for?
For sure, I guess. A lot of people think that all those cars are being, utilized with officers in it. No, sometimes they don't even have enough officers where it's not 2 officers in a car. You know, you're at them. You're by yourself.
Right.
You know, and depending on the district, you could be driving a long way. Like, for instance, when I remember speaking to one of the officers, and I had did some
some community work at this precinct, as well as some ride-alongs. 12th precinct over there on 7 Mile near Woodward.
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
We get in the car, we get a call. Now, we 7 Mile in Woodward.
And that precinct used to always have cars in the parking lot in the
And
lot
they don't get
every
used.
time, every time I roll by.
And we had a call that went out to where Cody's school was.
Okay.
That's a minute to travel.
Yeah, from way over there.
So when you look at why it takes police so long or whatever, you have to account, you don't know where they're coming from.
See, and that's why.
And they don't tell the citizens this. And that's why they're trying to, of course, they're trying to hire, but you got a lot of police officers that are retiring. So the response time may not be as what we would like it to be. And then you also got to pay these officers some money.
We're not going to applaud. We're going to applaud you for dropping that game on us, because I had no idea that
A lot of the citizens don't.
So we I applaud you for that, but it's no excuse.
And
it's no
these
excuse.
monthly meetings that each precinct should have, community meetings they should have, and you should be calling your local police department and asking, when is our next community meeting? And that's where you can go and ask questions, put your concerns on the table. But unfortunately, even with that, going back to the blight in the city, I want you guys to be equipped to be able to get some stuff done. If you've been sitting around and you may look across the street at a house that's look like it's finna fall at any given second, or you have a neighbor that, I don't know, some of these people, they grill on their front lawn, they grill on the porch, they have a whole, gang of lawn chairs just chilling in the front lawn. If you get tired of seeing that stuff, if your neighbor pull out their trash 5 days before the trash,
or don't pull it back at all,
and don't pull it back, call 313-224-0098. That's 313-224-0098.
I'm gonna have to get that number from you after we get done.
Because we have to demand that even our neighbors do better.
Let me tell you, I had to call in on waste disposal, whatever the garbage people call it, because they wouldn't
pick up the trash.
They wouldn't pick up my trash.
Man,
I had to call in on them. They got to do better too as well.
They all do. So we want you to, watch this video real quick. WDIV did they did a story on blight in Detroit, and I just want you guys to watch this.
For decades, people living in Detroit neighborhoods have been forced to live next to vacant and abandoned homes. Not only does that tank property values, it can be very dangerous. Now, change is coming for some folks who've pleaded for help in cleaning it all up. Our Everett Cassidy shows us how demolishing just one vacant home brought a neighbor to the verge of tears.
It's happening as we speak. After years of waiting for these homes in this Detroit neighborhood to be either demolished or stabilized, the work is officially being done, all thanks to Proposal N.
Proposal N was a proposal that was recently passed, voted on by residents to really put funds and money toward demolishing and stabilizing homes in neighborhoods that really need the most help.
Like this home on Caldwell Street on Detroit's east side. This is a neighborhood Pamela Harris has called home for 38 years.
I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm telling you, my knees is trembling. I'm just so excited. Woo, I'm so happy. I'm just so happy. Y'all just don't know. I am really happy.
She and other neighbors will be just as happy because the demolition work doesn't stop here. Up next, 419 additional planned demolitions and 320 stabilizations are scheduled.
So most people, I'm so emotional about it because I just think everybody out here just participating and helping us getting it done.
It's enough to bring a tear to Pamela's eyes. She's wanted these homes removed for 18 years.
I'm happy because we finally got someone to pay attention to us and come and tear the houses down. It's very important, to us.
The work done Tuesday is part of the city's blight removal program, as promised by Prop N. Now, Pamela has big plans for what she wants for the soon-to-be empty lot.
I would like to get the lot. And also we like to build on. I want to use it for a lot of the kids in the community.
And she's ready to buy the property and take back ownership of her neighborhood. In Detroit, Evrod Cassimy, Local 4.
18 years. 18 years it took for this woman to get results.
That's ridiculous.
Come on, City of Detroit, what are we doing? 18 years. Can you imagine what she's seen go down in that house or around the house for 18 years?
I can't.
How many sleepless nights? Because she don't know who's in there.
What's
going on, who somebody dragging up in there,
Yep.
the drugs that probably was around it, the drug addicts.
Yep.
18 years.
It's funny because I used to stay on Caldwell. Not that part, but
Not that part.
not that part, but I did used to stay on Caldwell.
But I feel bad for our senior citizens that have worked their entire life. They may not have the money to relocate, to retire, peacefully in the sun. Or maybe they just love Detroit and they want to stay here. They should not have to live on a block where it's 3 nice houses and every other house is looking like the house that we just seen.
I agree.
And then they have to go in their houses at night and throughout the day by themselves. It's not safe
at all. And think about the kids, the children that have to go to school.
They have to walk past those. You seen a young lady, I can't remember this story, but I do remember it in my head, walk past one of those vacant houses. The grass was tall, and a young man pulled her into it, raped her.
Oh, my
And she got away. We have to demand that the city get involved, but we also have to get involved as neighbors.
We have to do
If
our
you're
part.
living next door to a house that is no longer occupied, how hard is it for you to cut the grass?
I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I purchased a home maybe about 12 years ago, and I just went over there one night. It was about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to see how the neighborhood was. You know what I'm saying? So I just went over there, and I bagged into the driveway. Now, mind you, before I purchased the home, it was boarded up and everything. It was still a decent home, but it just needed a little bit of work. So I just, I bagged into the driveway. The next door neighbors were outside at this point in time. I'm not for sure if they were having a party or whatever, but
Did they recognize you?
no, not at all.
Okay.
It was my first time, my second time going over there.
Okay.
I had went when I first seen it, and then after I purchased it, that was my second time going there. So they had never seen me, nope. So I'm in the driveway. I'm just sitting there for maybe about 3-4 minutes. And one of the neighbors came up to me, and he was like, "Yo, this ain't your house. What you doing here?"
Nice.
I respected that.
Nice.
I respected that, but I had to tell him like, "Yo, this is
This,
I'm the owner of this crib." But,
say, this is my house. I'm just,
but I respected it, and from that day forward, we became cool. And every time I went over there, I said what up to him. Unfortunately, he ended up losing his. They ended up moving. So, but yeah, I think that's what more neighbors need to do in our community.
You have to. I was going to visit my uncle yesterday, and he lives off of Curtis in 7 Mile.
Okay.
The Bagley community.
Okay.
And I'm riding up the street, and even though the streets don't have stop sign, I always stop because there's a million kids around there. You got Bagley Elementary that's over there, and you always got kids running out on the street. So I stop at every block, and then you have, unfortunately, young men that speed down the street and just blow through the signs and stuff. So I stop, and I'm coming up to a house where I see a young man. He had to be like 5 or 6. He couldn't be no greater than 6 years old. and it looked like he was playing with his brother that was 7 or 8. The brother now is, he ran out of the street and he was on the grass in the front lawn.
Mm-hmm.
The little kid was still in the street, middle of the street. Didn't look like he was well kept.
Right.
Just in the middle of the street, just chilling. I'm driving and he's looking at me, I'm looking at him, and the first thing I'm thinking like, little boy, get out the street.
Yeah.
He looking at me like,
You get out the street.
Like, you move. So I pulled over. I rolled my window down. I told him, I said, get your little self out the street.
Yeah.
I said, do you know you can get injured? I said, what if a car come flying down here and you just standing in the middle street? And his little brother was standing there. He was looking. I said, and why do you have your younger brother in the street like this? I wasn't paying attention to what was going around. I was just concerned that I didn't want to hear on the news that a little kid got hit by a car. So I told him, I said, play on the sidewalk or go in the backyard and play.
Right.
He said, okay. And the other little boy just looked at me. I end up glancing up at the house, and you wouldn't expect the house to look like it looks in that neighborhood.
Right.
But it looked run down. The fence was hanging. The blinds was like it had been in a fight with a pit bull or something.
Right.
And the thing I'm thinking like, okay, first of all, where's the parents? And where is the neighbors that's, not telling these kids, get out the street?
Right.
We had a neighbor. Her name was Miss Betty. We used to live on Hayton and 7 Mile. And Miss Betty used to tell on us. Boy, she was a snitch. I mean, we couldn't do nothing without Miss Betty telling my mama. Miss Betty was one of the white people. So she lived next to us. And we would come home from school if we made too much noise walking down the street, if we was fooling around, chasing each other and went on her grass or somebody's grass. If my mom wasn't home, Miss Betty was calling my mom and telling her. One day we lost our key to get in the house. So we like, damn, we got to get in the house before mama get here. So my little sister was thin. She was a thin little something. So we was like, let's kick in the mute chute. Let's kick in the mute chute and, let her climb in and open up the back door. So, of course, we looking around to make sure ain't nobody looking.
Yeah.
We even looked at Miss Betty's house because her side of her house, was facing our house.
Yeah.
So we even looked over there, made sure we didn't see Miss Betty. We kicked in the mute chute. My sister climbed in, opened up the door. We in the house just chilling, waiting for my mama to come home. She gets home. We just laughing and playing. She comes in the living room with a belt. So we like, well, man, who done did something? My mama was like, who clammed through the milk chute? So we like, how did she know? So everybody looking like, it wasn't me. So she was like, okay, so nobody want to admit to it? Everybody getting a whooping. Miss Betty didn't seen us. She didn't move the curtain like she usually move the curtain. We can see her looking out. We didn't see Miss Betty. She called my mama at her job and told her that we was climbing through the milk chute. My mother whooped us good, and she told us, if Miss Betty saw you, who else, was probably watching you?
Right.
Somebody can come in and hurt us as a family or whatever.
Right.
But I thank God now for Miss Betty, because Miss Betty took it upon herself to be
That neighbor.
the neighborhood watch person.
Yep. And that's another thing. We don't have neighborhood watch anymore.
We don't. We have to get back to making sure our neighborhoods are safe from blight. When you outside with your kids, or sometimes just take your kids up and down the block and say, we're going to go walk down the block and pick up this paper.
Yep.
Or in front of the house, you see all that grass and stuff, leaves that's going into the sewage.
Or
sweep that up.
Or how about this? The dispensaries that's coming into all these neighborhoods. How about y'all put a team together?
Partner with them.
You know what I'm saying? And let's clean up these neighborhoods that y'all create, y'all getting money off of. How about these stores, these corner stores, with these people that don't even look like us that y'all shop with every day? How about you have some of them guys clean up? Not just y'all parking lot.
I agree. And that just comes. I agree. Matter of fact, you have a liquor store pretty much on every corner.
Every corner. Every other corner.
Either you chip in and you help with the community, or we shutting you down.
Exactly. But
we're not spending our money.
But we can't. Pookie and Ray go spend with them.
I was just about to say, we can't demand them to assist us
and we can't demand, if you're going to continue to go back and patronize them.
Same thing with like that video you showed me. I thought we was done with Gucci, but them girls in there fighting. But you don't want to spend money. You don't want to spend money with people that look like us because I understand some of our customer service skills
have to be worked on.
Yeah,
we got to get better.
Definitely,
we have to get better.
Most definitely.
But I want to say, if you are having issues with blight in your neighborhood, whether it's a store like the one we saw with Family Dollar, they have a front door. You literally had people walking up to that door and knocking on it. And you had the employees yelling, "Come on in, we open."
That's unacceptable.
That's mind-blowing to me.
That is very unacceptable.
So if you have stuff like that, or you have businesses in your community that are not upkeeping the outside of their business, the paint is chipping, you got liquor bottles, paper all around, you got garbage cans that's, overflowing with trash, dial the blight ticket department, 313-224-0098. Again, that's 313-224-0098. We have to do this together. We have to make sure our community look like it's supposed to look. Look, we got picked for the NFL draft for 2024. Mm-hmm. Ain't no sense of starting 4 months before they get here.
Get this stuff done.
This stuff done now. Let's clean up.
If we gotta
write some tickets to, put a little fire up under, our neighbors, let's get that done. And we understand some people saying, well, they may not have the money. Listen.
Here's the thing. We should all feel great about pulling into our community, not only just pulling up to our home, but riding past all our neighbors' homes. And just feeling like everybody is just keeping the community and the neighborhood up to par. We shouldn't have to go across 12 Mile to see clean streets, green grass.
When I brought my house, I felt so proud of myself.
As you should.
And not so much proud of just being able to purchase a home, but being able to drive up every day from work and see that my grass was cut listen, I'm a little, weird at times, when it comes to like outside beautification and stuff. When the lawn service would cut my grass, I would make them cut it diagonally where I can see the line. I had to see the line.
I don't blame you.
You know what I'm saying? When I pull up, I want to see it looks beautiful. It looks healthy. The flowers is blossoming. Mm-hmm. You look around and you see people sitting on a porch reading a book. You see the kids playing football. We can't do that. We talk about the broken window theory. When you have one house on a block and one window get broke, somebody else gonna walk past and gonna say, oh, well, one window is broke. We might as well throw a rock in, And
then all the windows broke.
And then they got all the windows broken. Then the house start, looking like trash.
Yep.
And
then if somebody wanted to
and then they bring on crime,
arson, all type of things.
They feel like you on the block. If you don't care, why should we care?
Exactly. And that's how we should feel about the city as a whole.
We should. I'm on board. I'm on board to get it done. And not only on board to get it done, I'm on board to make these leaders that we know that our citizen elect hold their foot to the fire. We're not putting people in office no more for name recognition. We're just not doing it. If your name don't live up to what it should, I don't care if your mom or your daddy was in service. You won't be in service any longer.
I agree.
Because we deserve better. Detroit deserve better. And Detroit deserve a community that we can get back to having walks with our families, going to the park. We can't even go to the park.
And it's you're absolutely right. I'd be wanting to take
walks.
I'd be wanting to take my kids to the park. I used to take my kids to the park. My old lady, she used to take them to the park as well. But one of the biggest issues
it's not safe.
Exactly.
It's not safe and it's not clean.
Those are two of the most important things that you need in a community with families. You need safety, and you need to make sure that the community is clean.
Yes.
Because if it's clean and if it's safe, people take pride in that.
Exactly.
You see families coming out of the house and not sitting in watching movies and playing video games all day.
Yep.
I want to be able to know the neighbors that surround me.
Yep.
Everybody is doing their own thing. Let's hold some people accountable. Let's get not only Detroit, but our surrounding metropolitan areas. Let's get all of these areas clean. We don't want to wait till 2024 when we got visitors coming in.
Yep.
We want to show them that Detroit got it together. Let's not wait.
Don't just try to put on a good face for the company. Let's keep the good face on for everybody, for the people that stay here as well.
And I want to, before we close, I want to give a shout out to my girlfriend Stephanie with Love Code. Stephanie went and created me or did me a hat with my Chucks because I love my red Chucks. She did this, and she did a shirt for me. Her business is called Love Code. You can check her out on Facebook. Or you can visit her store in Lower Park Place Mall. It's called Love Code. As well as if you need some assistance with your credit or getting your credit repair, check out D as in David, A as in Apple, S as in Sam, Credit Repair. That's DAS, creditrepair.com. And let them get you together. So, you got anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
It's always a pleasure to be here with you. I look
Thank
forward
you.
to being here with you next Saturday. Tune in next Saturday at 5 with Miss Carmen for the Detroit Table Talk.
Tune in with myself and Mr. Dro on Saturdays at 5. And I also want to encourage you to come back next Saturday. We're going to have a show. We're going to be talking about autism because this is Autism Month. And we want to acknowledge, families and children that are dealing with autism in their household and in their family. And I have a surprise next week. I'm so excited. So I'll see you back here next Saturday at 5 o'clock on Detroit Table Talk.
Stay safe, stay blessed.